Malaysia, the ASEAN chair this year, is determined to drive the peace plan for Myanmar forward. It aims to facilitate talks between Myanmar's military government and the shadow National Unity government later this year. But the head of a Malaysian government think tank says both sides must first respect a ceasefire to enable aid distribution to earthquake victims. CNA's Melissa Goh with this report.
Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's separate meetings with Myanmar military chief Min Aung Hlaing and the shadow National Unity government last week are seen by some observers as a positive step.
The fact that neither side had voiced any protestation against that fact itself, I think, is a good indication of the trajectory moving forward. Secondly, there would be much better prospects for now, I think, of even perhaps NUG coming in for a physical meeting in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur. That would be the next step forward. Be that as it may, I do say that I'm not exaggerating, that this was a very good development, considering that there's not been much going on prior to this.
The goal was to broker an extension of a ceasefire to facilitate access to aid for victims of a recent major earthquake across Myanmar, including in rebel-controlled areas. Malaysia sent a medical team from the armed forces to Sagaing, one of the areas worst hit by the earthquake. The team was led by Lieutenant General Dr. Zulkifli Majuso.
Dan kerajaan Myanmar sendiri menjamin yang keadaan keselamatan ini akan diberi keutamaan kepada anggota dan rombongan daripada kita.
ASEAN parliamentarians for human rights are calling for the deployment of observers to monitor the ceasefire and delivery of aid. However, Professor Faiz stressed the importance of taking one step at a time.
You're in a situation where you can't really predict what's going to happen. What is a test? It's a test is that we've got the message to, we do our best effort to persuade, to convince of the necessity to observe this ceasefire to the extent that is possible.
Mr. Anwar has emphasized that while ASEAN's humanitarian concern is unconditional, political legitimacy is not. ASEAN has warned Myanmar against holding a nationwide election until there's cessation of violence and constructive engagement of all sides.
They really got to have that election. It would be on them to show that it's transparent, proper, the natural, as many observers as possible. So the ball will be on their court to show that it will be a free and fair election.
Former Malaysian Foreign Minister Saifuddin Abdullah has urged Mr. Anwar to bring all warring factions to the negotiating table to craft a properly mediated roadmap. Melissa Goh, CNA, Kuala Lumpur.